Yo, it was good. We talking about a conversation piece we made, which was Peep Game. To me, I feel like Peep Game is more like using your intuition, using your head to kind of like see what's going, being aware, seeing what's going on around you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like today, like a lot of people are confused. It's so many screens, there's so much stuff in front of them that they can't peep what's going on in a real life situation. They just like out of it, like they can't really see what's real and what's not real. You feel me? So like I feel like peeping game is real important. I know like recently, like it's a lot of stuff going on in the social media world where it was a transsexual dude tricking a lot of dudes. He wasn't telling people that he was a female, but
he wasn't telling people that he was a male.
Yeah, he wasn't telling people that he was a male.
I heard about that.
Yeah, he's a female now, or she-male. I don't know what's the right term for it.
Gotta keep it PC type shit. For real. Cancel culture be real.
Yeah, but I don't know the proper term of it. I ain't like, all this shit is like new to me, you feel me? But I feel like when I talk to other people, like in a barbershop, so like people, cause everybody talking about it. Yeah. Everybody saying like, yo, you should have peeped the feet, or you should have peeped the Adam's apples, or you should have peeped this, you should have peeped that. Like, how would you peep game in that situation? Or even any other situation? Cause me, I can't see myself being in a situation like that, you feel me? Like, but like I feel like people not using their intuition, or they just blinded by filters, what they see before the fact, you feel me?
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I don't really know much about it. And I don't know, but how would you know if the surgery, if that surgery was had, you feel me? So how would you really know? So, I mean, I'm not gonna put myself in that position anyway, but I can just see how it can be unfair to the people who got caught up in that situation, you feel me? Right. But that's definitely a situation where you would wish that you peep game ahead of time, so that way you're not, getting advertised in this fashion, you know what I'm saying? So that's definitely one way that you can, where you would want to be able to peep some game,
but,
you feel me?
Like, how do you peep game when it's like you said, I don't know too much about it. I just be heard stuff. I ain't know about it until someone shared it with me. And it's a crazy situation. It's definitely crazy. How do you peep game when it's like, if it's like so damn convincing?
But even aside from that, like let's say for example, like we taking out the element of like it being like somebody who's faking to be actual certain sex or something like that. Like let's say if you dealing with somebody and like they come off with the intentions of being good, but then you peep game and then you see that they like their real intent is to like kind of like do you in or something like that. You feel me? Like it's more than just I feel like it's more than just like in the physical form. I feel like you gotta like use your intuition for real, and you know what I'm saying, your real sensories, like to kind of like see what somebody headed, or what the real is for real.
Yeah, because most people always have a hidden agenda, or trying to get something done. So you definitely need to be able to be aware of what that person wants from you. Because if not, well, you'll get trampled on out here, and definitely in the society and in the time that we live in now, it seems like it's a lot of people just trying to get over on you. So you better know how to peep game for real. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody's finessing for real. That's like the culture right now. So it's real important to peep game for real.
Has there been a situation though where we had to peep game? I'm sure that
I ain't gonna lie. It's been plenty of situations where I feel like we have peep game, but not in a sense of what like somebody was trying to like do us wrong. It's just being aware. Like when, for instance, we going to China, you started you just aware of your surroundings. Like when we went to China, and we ain't hanging out in the clubs. Like, you just know, like, yo, stay away from that group of people. Oh, those guys, they from the Army, they don't mess with us. You know what I'm saying? Like, they probably want to know what we there for. Or when we walking through the factory, we peep certain materials or how they do certain things, and we take those things and apply it to what we doing. You feel me? Like, I remember one time we had a conversation. We were just having a conversation with a guy who was our distributor at the time, and he was like he was looking at a garment that I was wearing, and he was saying, it was like, yeah, I like that. And I was like, yeah, we can make this too. And he was like, yeah, just make it your own. And then like that, you know what I'm saying, just that, him saying that alone made me peep game on, all right, this is how I could go about with like making, or at least like designing our clothes and stuff like that, or how to design off a garment that's already made, you feel me?
You can say for the most part, Peep Game is just mainly like just trusting your intuition, really.
Yeah.
With the first gut instinct.
Yeah.
Second guess yourself.
Yeah.
I think that's something we probably all struggle with sometimes.
Yeah. Is that what y'all had in mind when y'all was designing that garment, in particular, the Peep Game?
I guess with the garment, the graphic was just pretty much, I know it was 2 sets of eyes, if I remember correctly. It's been a while since I've seen it, but 2 sets of eyes, a man and a woman. I don't know, 'cause I know Rick, you're the one that really came up with that wording for that. But when you did say the wording, that's what I kind of figured too, as far as the dynamic between 2 opposite sex, because that's a game in itself right now when you talk about a man and a woman. So I mean, it's open for interpretation for real, like with that shirt in itself. I think peeping game is just like a general idea. What you were gonna say?
Yeah, even that term in general, it's wide open, it's open-ended a little bit. It's really up to that person's interpretation as far as peeping game, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes you might not have to peep game if you don't put yourself in certain environments.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like having to always look over your shoulder, always having to like do a double take, a triple take. If you're not there to be there in the first place, then maybe you don't have to peep game. So.
And it gets tiring sometimes. It takes energy to kind of just be aware all the time like that, for real.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I said a lot of times I'll be around like people who move certain ways, or like they, like let's say if they are part of the streets, like you said, looking over your shoulder. Like I don't have that type of energy, but like because of the fact that certain involvement with certain people, like they always gotta be aware. They always gotta be trying to peep, yo, who that person is. They gotta have security to go, yo, check that out. Make sure that person don't come close over here. I don't know who that is, but like with me, I float. You feel me? Like you said, if you don't put yourself in certain positions, you don't have to worry, or you don't have to even like have to worry about that element of peeping anything outside of what you already set to do. You feel me?
Yo, what's good? Sorry for the interruption, but this episode of 4 Quarters is brought to you by FSC Academy. Go to fsc.academy right now. Put your email address in and log in. We got a lot of stuff coming up, so go check us out.
I ain't gonna lie, you just said something. You said something about the energy, like your energy. Cause I ain't gonna lie, I know that you have to peep game. I was talking to my brother Chris about this one time, I believe, and I was like, man, I just want to I basically was saying I want to let my guard down. Right. So I was basically saying like I want to stop peeping game. And I remember he said something to me, I believe something like the game always being played or something like that. He said to me, so when you got to peep game so much, it could drain you. And I ain't gonna lie, like that's what I've been feeling lately, man. There's a lot of games getting played. So lately I've been trying to figure out what's my safe space. And so like a lot of times I've been trying to figure out what person I could be around, or maybe it just might be myself, where I could just be able to put down that mentality of always having a peak game. Well, I might maybe go by my mom's crib and just chill over there. Kind of nobody have an agenda for me. It is familiar, right. And I don't have to peep game over there. Right. So I know when you give me that hug and that kiss, my old boy give me that hug, give me that kiss, it's real love over there. I ain't gotta worry about peeping game in the crib. Somebody offer me something to drink or some food. I don't know what you want on the back end. You may need a ride or some sort of some back end favor. So that when you just said it, I was like, yeah, energy. Cause that peeping game thing, boy, it's draining. It's necessary to navigate through life, but it's draining when you gotta always be somewhere and you gotta like peep game. And
in that room, it's very draining. But it don't always gotta be negative.
Right.
It's like, boy, like you could peep a new trend, or you could peep a new, oh man, I've been doing it wrong. I've been doing this method wrong my whole way of life. Like I probably was just working out, and I peep, oh shit, you got a diet too. You feel me? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's not just negative, but shit, it is draining when you just gotta like kind of like figure things out. Cause at first it always seemed hard, and then it get easy. Like we ain't never like I remember when we first started printing our tees, I didn't know you had to have like a certain screen that allows so much ink to come through, but we ain't peeping until we started like doing it over and over and over and stuff like that. So like peeping game is like also just being aware and getting knowledge too, you feel me? Like, and I don't think it's always.
Yeah, you know, I want to touch back on what you saying, cause cause I don't know, me personally, I am kind of introverted. You know, I've been introverted for a while and stuff like that, and I know one of the reasons, especially lately, it's been more of that, like just dealing with people. Like it doesn't have to be negative, but sometimes we like really dealing with people, and then you know that maybe such and such might want something from you, but they come off, you know, they coming off in a different from a certain angle. And you just got you know you got your discernment, but you don't want to have that guard up all the time, for real. Right. So that's why I feel like sometimes that's why I do be kind of like I kind of like remove myself from like society type shit, for real. I ain't gonna lie, I just be feeling comfortable when I'm solo. Sometimes I can just like relax my mind, cause the games get played on every level. It could be like every level, bro. Like even your family, amongst your family, like it don't gotta be immediate family, but your family, like. You know, the games just get played, so you gotta peep too.
Yeah. It's on all levels. It's like sometimes when you know you like moving with a genuine heart, or you moving with no ulterior motives, but then you might be doing this for this person, but in the back of their mind, you know what I'm saying? Now you let your guard down, but the whole time you moving with integrity, you moving with a kind heart, or you moving with like just straight genuine, like if I got it, you got it. Yeah. But then the whole time they're peeping game on you. You know what I'm saying? So your whole guard is down, and now you pouring into somebody before pouring into yourself. You got nothing left in the tank.
Yeah. So they coming for the kill and take advantage of all that.
It is on every level though. Even when you have kids, like I got kids, man. Like my jits know when to ask me for something or they mama for something. So like that's the game. You know what I'm saying? Like boy, he just told me no. Let me go ask her. Then you like, yo, I just told you no, and then like, oh, I just asked them, you feel me? Like, it's on every level, you know what I'm saying? Like, they peep how to, and let me run the game this way, like, let me not ask that person, I ask them, let me go ask the next one type vibe. So.
I ain't got no kids, my fault. I ain't got no kids yet, but I do remember as a kid, I used to be on that same vibe, just like, seeing who I could finesse.
And it ain't like, you don't want to say it's a real, like, bad thing, but you just, I guess it's a want type vibe, you know what I'm saying? You don't think it's like, I don't want to say it's like man, damn, like I guess you are taking advantage in a sense, like, cause I get on my jits when they do stuff like that, like, man, yo, what you doing? Like, you trying to turn us against each other, or whatever, but.
Yeah, that was prohibited in my crib.
What?
Like, you couldn't even, I had a peep game on that. Like, you couldn't ask my mom something and try to turn around and go ask my dad. Or ask my dad. My dad said no, then ask my mom. Like, that was like forbidden.
But how you learned about it though?
Yeah, I had to peep game, you know?
You peep somebody else? Got it? Or you tried it and then you got it?
I think I got it. I can't remember, but I think I almost got it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, on the same page. Yeah. Have there ever been a time where you had to peep game, like dealing with some chicks? Because I know way back in the days in middle school, I know I had peep game in the wrong way, dog. And I remember I had to peep game at the time. I think my girlfriend in middle school was sliding on me. You feel me? I think I was like 13, and I remember she was sliding on me with somebody that was it was a long story outside the block, but I remember like that was catastrophic for me too when I found that out. Peep Game, that first heartbreak. I remember I had my own spaghetti and I put all that, I put the Parmesan cheese on there and every thought about to eat my food, and I looked up out the window and I remember it was a girl across the street and she was telling me like, yo man, you know, man, I think the girl you be talking to, she talked to my big brother, but he don't stay around, he stay somewhere else. And I remember every time I was on the phone with her, and I remember when I looked outside, I remember like this older dude just so happened started coming in the neighborhood. And I remember I was looking out the window, but I'm on the phone with her. Every time I'm on the phone with her, as soon as I see Buddy pick up the phone, she'll tell me she had to call me back. And then every time he hang up the phone, my phone will ring. So then, like, you know, his sister introduced us. Long story short, one day brought her over there, and then, you know, she had chose Buddy. She chose Buddy in front of everybody on the whole block. I remember I went back. It was a Wednesday night. And I remember I went back inside and took the whole plate of spaghetti and just poured it in the garbage, you feel me? But like I remember that was the time I had to peep game at an early age about how the relationships work, dog. And that was a real tragic day for me. And you know, the heartbreaks was different back then because you didn't have cell phones. You had brothers and sisters, and then once somebody on the phone, boy, you can't get on the phone. Maybe the other person you calling even got call waiting or none of that stuff. So you was really taking my heartbreak serious back then. Like you had to really take heartbreak like a G. Yeah. You know what I'm saying, back then. But I remember that was like the first time I think I had to peep game about that love stuff. You know what I'm saying? As a shorty in middle school.
Wow.
Damn. I mean, I'm thinking to myself, man, it's like, all right, so that was a form of not being able to peep game early on. Right?
Facts.
So even in our adulthood, sometimes we'll purposely ignore red flags.
Facts.
I can say that to myself. Like, you know, there's certain things that you might see, but you want to give that person the benefit of the doubt. So again, you moving with a straight, genuine heart.
Right.
You're ignoring red flags, and then all of a sudden it's like, damn, the whole world crushing down on you. Like, what the hell going on?
Yeah.
So that's one thing we all gotta do, man. You better just don't ignore the red flags out the gate. Like if somebody presents themselves for who they are, you gotta accept them for who they are.
Facts.
You know, at the end of the day, we all want the best, or we all moving with some sort of integrity.
Yeah.
But when you get in something else out of return, you could have already seen that, but you chose to ignore that because you hoping for the best. Yeah. But that'll land you in a different situation too sometimes.
Facts.
So you felt like you didn't peep game? Like
I definitely didn't peep game early on, man. I could go back to like a couple relationships ago, whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, you know, you out here, you just moving, you doing you, you having fun. You don't really know yourself yet. You know, you might stay in a situation because you might already have a kid with this person, or you might want a 2-family household. So you purposely are not peeping game, and you just ignoring all the red flags, and then boom, it hits you in your face. So once it does hit you in the face that 1, 2, 3 times, then you really gotta like shame on you that time. So you definitely gotta like seek for what it is, and then just move forward accordingly after that.
It's been a couple times I ain't peep game, but it ain't never been on a relationship level. Sometimes I probably peep game where somebody had liked me or did not like me, but like I wasn't peeping their emotions because I ain't care, you feel me? Like, and when you find out too late, sometimes you dang, like, oh, I was feeling like that, but I ain't feeling like that no more. Most of the times, like the hate, if you get somebody that's jealous of you, but you don't peep it, then that's when, by the time you do get it, it's like it done grew to a whole nother level, you know what I'm saying? Like, that, to me, that'd be the craziest part, when you don't peep it, or like you said, Reg, when you ignore the red flags, because like them flashes start getting bigger and bigger, you feel me? Like the whatever is behind whatever's going on, it keep going. I mean, emotions just keep evolving, I guess.
At what point though do peeping game just turn to paranoia? Cause I feel like sometimes I be overthinking. I just turn into some paranoid shit. Like just thinking about like, man, this game being ran on me and stuff like that. I can't even recall like any specific times. It's just that I don't know. I may be an overthinker. Well, I am an overthinker. I ain't gonna lie. So it's like my mind would get to going. If I see certain little things, especially if I'm on a substance, But if I see like certain little things, my mind start working. I'm like peeping game, but it feel like, man, I'm kind of sabotaging myself and just taking myself out of a comfort zone type shit, and just I don't know. Like
I feel like when it comes to stuff like that, after a certain point, if you can't control them thoughts, like I feel like, man, when it get to a point like that, like it could be you overthinking, or it could be the way that person make you feel, and then that's when it becomes toxic, and that's when it becomes paranoia, cause you can't really peep what's real and what's fake. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like you probably done peep the fake part, and then now you don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that's when. If I don't know if I'm answering your question, but I feel like if it goes on too long, it's go get to a point like that. You feel me? Like after a while.
I only gotta be with relationships. It's
Yeah,
like
it's
everything.
anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like boy, it could be like, man, like boy, I peep, man. When my dog go out, we finna go to every club in Miami. You know what I'm saying? And like, oh, nah, we ain't doing that this time. And then next thing you know, boy, it happened again. We went out to do Fort, you know what I'm saying? Like, you feel me? Like, you paranoid. Every time I get around this person, this nigga too wild, you feel me? Like.
But I think, man, the people who peep game a lot, and like you said, they don't always got to be negative, but so the people who peep game a lot hurts the most. Because you be so aware.
Boy, it's like you ever felt that?
Oh, nah. I live
that's your
it. I really
intuition,
live
though.
it. Like, I live it. So it's like, when you be aware, it be painful sometimes to just be peeping game like that. That's why I was like saying, you gotta, sometimes you gotta go to that spot where you feel like you can put your sword down and just relax and just kind of woosah, where everything around here is, is genuine. You know what I'm saying? So, cause I know you for one. You're some KP. You're somebody who really like to keep them doors closed next door. When we in the office and we, in our groove, like you don't really be wanting that outside energy. Right. Me too. I'm 100% behind that. You be wanting that outside energy like that. I be seeing the anxiety. You know what I mean? I think we probably share the same anxiety. Yeah. I think you wear it on your face. I think we share the same anxiety. But at the same time, I do get it. You do have to be open for outside suggestions, because a lot of stuff do come from that. And then, like Rick said, there's been occasions where, speaking with Matt, and he said something to you, and you just picked up on that game, and you peep game, just a conversation, because you had your ears open. Yeah. And then a lot of people really, they don't never have their ears open. They really want to talk, but he dropped, because what he said to you, I wasn't there, but what you told me, what he said to you, that would have went over a lot of people's head. Yeah. Make it your own. Yeah. But then you took that and like, aha, you peep game, then just make it your own. Yeah. And that's it. Yeah.
Let me ask you this, do you feel like sometimes as individuals we choose not to peep game just to keep the peace and just to keep for the greater good of everybody that may not just, it might not just affect you, but it's going to affect other people. So do you choose not to peep game for the greater good of the whole?
I don't think you cannot choose to peep it. I just think probably you choose not to like address it. Yeah, like sometimes you just let the motion keep going. But like I feel like what you said something like that was real. You're like, boy, the person who peeped the most game. Basically, when you aware, when you start being aware of everything, that's when shit gets scary. It was a book, dog, that you was like, yeah, boy, I got this 48 Laws of Power. I started reading that book, I had to put that shit down, dog, like, cause it's making you aware of every little type of game. And then now once you're aware and you start seeing like certain type of ways that people handle situations and stuff like that, now you kind of like analyzing and you looking at everything in that certain light. It's like when you got cheated on, every girl who came behind that girl, you looking at her in a certain way, because now you done peep game. You aware of a certain type of game that get played, and so forth and so forth. I feel like that when you aware, like for real, it's like that's when shit get real for real.
Yeah, you do get away. I think moving forward past that though, I wasn't like moving like a savage. But I was aware though, like
I ain't gonna lie,
the
my
next
first
time.
I was savage mode.
Yeah, you're like, yeah. But I mean, you know, I was still in middle school, but you know, I still had that summer to go into to high school, but I did take a little break. You know what I'm saying? Because it was a little bit, you know, it was a little bit heavy for me, at the time. But what you said earlier, Reg, there is a lot of times that you may peep game, but then you might, for me, I might know that is bigger than me even just saying something. And so I may just be passive on it, but I'm aware, but I think we all are, but we so much forward thinkers that we'll probably bypass that feeling just to keep things going, and because even sometimes, like even with my son, he plays sports. Even if you watch certain ways and certain things that go on with coaching, you know, over the years, you'll always have favoritism and stuff like that. But at the same time, you won't really say something because you know if you say something, it could really go down between you and them coaches, and it's gonna mess up the fun for your shorty playing that game. But because he's not old enough to peep game, so you really supposed to protect them, but he's still having some fun, so you let them vibe out. But you peep it, and the adults know you peep it too. That's why you get them weird stares and stuff like that, because they know you know. But it's just like sometimes when you just know the future and what you're building, whether it's in a family or in business, is bigger than probably that feeling that you feeling. It allows you to keep going on, because let's say, for instance, for what we got going on right now, if you addressed everything, you peep game so much, it happened before, and it got addressed every time. And then what it did was, it messed up the camaraderie. The energy. It messed in a creative environment. You probably can't just every second just kind of snap. Dang, you just did this. Or you just did this. It's like now you gonna feel like you in a creative prison. You feel me? So like sometimes you may peep something, but it's just like, dang, dog. But you gonna suffer though. You personally gonna suffer. So you gotta. I ain't gonna lie, it's tough. You gotta find a way where you may have to take that break, you know what I'm saying, and just think about the reason why you got started and whatever the situation is, and try your best, you know, to keep going as long as you can. But that's a real one, boy. We faced that. You know
I had a situation like that. What that was on Monday, I had to go to court. And I was telling you how, like, I was like, yo, like, I'm peeping how they do black people, in the sense where they trying to, like, put felonies on us, put certain charges on us, and they make it hard for us. Like, I'm in the courtroom, and they like, this even before, like, the court actually started, both of the state and the defense attorney and my attorney that I hired, they going back and forth, like, trying to see, like, how we could get everything dismissed. But the state just making it so hard for me. So I put my lawyer to the side. I'm like, yo, why are they making me do all this extra work? Where common sense to tell you, if something was wrong with XYZ, the police would have picked that up when they you know, like, when they try to do whatever to me. So he was like, man, listen, I told you what this is, you know, but what you have to worry about is the end goal. If you do such and such and such, this is going to be done. So I had to let all them emotions, like, because I was really feeling bad. I'm like, dog, I'm not a bad person. Why they doing this shit? I'm not looking at my skin like, yo, I'm black. I'm thinking about what's in here. Like, yo, I don't hurt nobody. I don't do nothing, none of that. Why they doing this? Like, why they treat us like this? Why they doing us like this? And he was like, man, you got to just worry about the end goal. We almost there. We finna get the shit thrown out. You feel me? So
now, all right, so now knowing that, right? Well, because we we already know what the situation is. It's been like that for a long time. Yeah, and it's not every, you know what I'm saying, it's not every white person or every Spanish person or, you know, every black person that's racist, you feel me? So now we know that. So now we got a peep game, like, moving forward. how do we avoid situation? Because because if you didn't know how to articulate yourself, and you know how to carry yourself in a situation, you know how to control your emotions. That could have went terrible for you, right?
It went crazy.
So you got to also look too.
I peep game, dog, like in a lot of different ways. My bad to cut you off. Like, remember I was telling you cause after court, me and G pulled up to the shop at the same time. And the first time I was like, boy, like I've always heard Jay-Z say it in the line, and I knew about it, but that was the first time I've been in a situation when he was like, you know, like chains are cool, but more important is lawyer fees. If I ain't spend them bands on that lawyer, they would have slapped that felony on me easy. Ain't no public defender would have been able to like kind of like get that off, like, or even care to talk to these guys before the clock start ticking. You feel me?
Yeah.
So,
you know, and it's unfortunate. So now it's like, it's unfortunate, but now it's like, and you shouldn't have to think this way, but it's just like, we do increase our chances on getting in these situations based on the way how we appear. Yeah. Now, you remember back in the days, you know, when we were younger, we had gold teeth. You know what I'm saying? And so I remember back in my household, when I was in middle school, I used to be selling candy to try to buy my gold teeth. And I first started off, I bought silver for $120 out the flea market. And I remember I used to hide them. Cause I know my mom and my dad didn't really want me to have it because they knew that would increase my chances for me to get in some sort of trouble with the law. And so I remember at one point I was in middle school, I got tired of hiding, and I was like, man, I want to go talk to them. Like, man, look, that's what I got going on. Cause I have to have folk to the top, and when I see I know how to do a magic trick to like take the gold, you know, take it out. And for me, at an early age, that didn't even feel right. You feel me? That ain't feel right to me. Ain't feel real. So I had to go talk to him about it. Then after that, you remember? Then we got gold teeth. That's in middle school. Yeah. So we've been doing this for a long time. But they didn't. I remember my old boy and old girl. They didn't want me to have it, but they respected. I told them, and then they was cool with it. But they knew it was going to increase my chances on
prejudice,
being, you know, getting targeted. Like even with growing the dreads, I wanted to grow dreads since I was in elementary. I used to be twisting up my hair, and then over the weekend I'd be looking at my brother. Like Friday evening, I start twisting up one side. By the time Saturday come, I got the whole thing twisted up. We in elementary. Then by Sunday morning, it's time to go to church. Mom come to the door. Time to get ready for church. So I'm coming in there like, I'm gonna go to church with the wig. They gonna see me twisted up. Okay, go ahead and comb that out. Be hot. But I was doing that from elementary. Then by the time I got to high school, like 9th grade, they stopped bothering me about it. You know what I'm saying? I was handling my grades, doing what I got to do, you know, playing sports, doing what I'm doing. And then it was okay. So, you know, I was able to grow my dreads. But as I've gotten older, I realized why they do it, because like you're gonna increase your chances. And it shouldn't be that way, but because, you know, you want to wear your dreads, even with the gold chains, we had chains since we was younger, but it's just like they didn't want you doing that certain stuff because you're going to increase your chances. So like now that you peep game, because that could have went left for you, based on what you're telling me in the courtroom, that could have went real left if you ain't had the fee.
Yeah, if I ain't had a fee for the lawyer, if I ain't know how to speak, if I ain't know like everything, and I peep game at that point too. Like I never been in a situation where I had to, like, of course everywhere I go I'm gonna dress the right way. If we finna go to church, I'm finna put on, like, you know, I'm gonna wear church attire. If, you know what I'm saying, whether it's casual or button up, whatever, I know I'm going into a professional environment, I put on professional clothes. That right there alone, dog, that shit alone kinda got me in the door. Like, niggas ask me like, yo, what you doing? What you do for a living? I'm peeping out how the ladies looking at me, you know what I'm saying? I look good, I smell good. It's niggas in that shit next to me done robbed the bank. Them boys wearing Reeves, you feel me? In the court. I'm like, yo, but that right there alone, like, kind of like set, even with my hair like this, I pulled it back, put it in a ponytail or whatever. But like all that I peep game that like everything is, a lot of things are necessary. We probably ain't know why like our parents was like, you can't wear your hair like that, or I don't want you looking this way. But now I understand, like you said, like I see why. Cause like even the word change, though, you have to be built for this. You can't just put on a $40,000 link and just feel like you finna walk around this thing. You don't know how to peep game. You gotta peep. You gotta be aware of your surroundings. You gotta be well, boy. Them boys trying to take my head off about this link. I see everybody looking at my neck, boy. You feel me? You gotta be, your intuition gotta be on, and like that stuff takes time. You feel me? Like you see, like you said, like well, we used to every Sunday they had it taken out, but by the time I got to like 9th grade, I got old. I showed I'm responsible. You was responsible to wear, you know what I'm saying, your jewelry. Responsible to wear your hair a certain way. They ain't bother you. You feel me? You really have to grow into that. You can't just come out here and feel like you could just do it off bat like that. Like for real, you really gotta be built for it, or be able to peep game, or your intuition gotta be on point for real. Yo, what's good, world? This Rick the Vibe here, man. Hey, make sure y'all following us on IG, 4QTRS. That's 4 Quarters Podcast. Keep up with us on IG. You can also find us on Spotify, YouTube, iTunes, the whole nine, man. Y'all keep up with us. We out here.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, that peep game, it be serious too, cause like you said with the jury, when you walk around with $25,000, $40,000 Cuban links, and so like even me, like just being aware of the peep game. Sometimes when I even wear jewelry, like say if I know I'm going out that night, like, and I know my car's already on E, and I'm not even dressed yet to go out that night. You feel me? I'm smart enough to know, and anything can happen at any time though. But I'm smart enough to know before I go home and get dressed and put on jewelry, I'm about to stop to this gas station early. You know what I'm saying? While it's daytime, finna fill up like this while I'm raggedy, and so that way later on when I get fresh, I ain't making those sort of stops. And that way, you can learn these things and you peep game sometimes off of certain things you used to do too. Yeah. So now you know what to look for too. Yeah, G. Because you know what you used to do, or you know certain people you've been around that do certain things, and so now you peep game and you know how to move. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, there's a lot of different stuff. Like sometimes, like, even with like the jewelry that, you know what I'm saying, I'm wearing right now, it's like, niggas done had this for years. You feel me? Yeah. And so you had these things for years, and then sometimes you got a peep game too. Like, if you got a shorty, sometimes you be like, man, I ain't even gonna wear that because it might increase my chances. Yeah. On, like, some people might be like, man, I keep that thing on me, I keep that file on me. Bruh, if I could leave my jewelry home to decrease my chances of getting robbed for that day or whenever, I'm gonna leave it home. Cause I ain't trying to be in no shootout and I get killed because I was defending my chain.
Or even if, like, man, it could go to a whole nother level. Let's say somebody do catch you slipping, or they bold enough to put you in that situation, and it's that time, hey man, you can have this.
They kill you now still,
You can't. They still kill you for it.
It's crazy. You can't even go out no more and just enjoy yourself with and wear what you work hard for and earn.
But you had to peep that though. Like that's, you know what I'm saying? Like we peep that based off these real life situations, like, and thank God, like we do got that mind frame of like, boy, like I know sometimes I'll be out here, I'll be outside, you be like, hey boy, be careful with that jewelry, Rick. You know what I'm saying? Hey boy, you see them cars at the top of the block, hey boy, them boys keep circling, hey, be careful, dog. You know what I'm saying? So like, peeping game, boy, it's real. It could be on all levels where you peeping if a fake girl, or you know what I'm saying, or you just peeping if you could be peeping if something real or fake. You know what I'm saying? But it is real.
You gotta, even on another level too. Like you gotta peep game. Even like say, you know, you may be from a certain culture, certain neighborhood, but then now you inserted yourself into the corporate world or to a job. dog, sometimes you got a peep game on how to move around these people's job. Cause like a lot of people be like, oh, these people here, man, they trying me this. And it's kind of like, nah, you gotta really peep like what's going on here. Like these people who you working for, they have a business and you have to be there at a certain time. If you don't be there at a certain time, then the work doesn't happen. So sometimes you just gotta understand your environment when you even in that working world. And like Ant book, the Soul of Care. When he was talking to his uncle in the book, or no, his dad was talking to his dad when he went to go see his dad in prison, and Ant was talking to his dad, and he said, when the dude was in class, you know, Ant was selling dope. So when he got himself into school at Miami-Dade, it was a dude in school that was kept asking him for money, and he was looking out. He was like, man, you know, I walk around with $500 bet on me. Dude asked for $1.50. Then he overheard the dude telling somebody else like, man, hey man, you know, I bet that dude give me money. And when Ant heard it, Ant was like, nah, buddy, you been trying me this whole time. Yeah. So Ant went and stepped to him and dropped all the money in front of him, told him, man, get it in blood. You feel me? Talking to him like that. So then when he went to go visit his old boy in prison, Ant was talking to his old boy, and his old boy was like, he was telling his dad, like, when what happened in school, he was like, yeah, Dad, you know, I had to put down them all. And his old boy was like, yeah, basically, tell me what happened. And he told him the story, and his old boy was like, yeah, okay, that's how you supposed to do it. Yeah, that's how you supposed to handle it. If he was in here, he switched his tone, like, if he was in here, that's how you supposed to handle it, or in the streets. But he was like, the G code doesn't apply in a Marx world. So I mean, pretty much, G code don't apply in a Marx world. So now you gotta know how to peep game and know when to apply it. Like you could be those different persons. He was talking to his uncle Jimmy, and he was like, man, he was confused. He's like, man, you know, I'm all these different people. One moment I'm Jit with a chopper in my hand. Then he said, one moment I'm this nerd. I'm this dude. I'm a nerd in school, and then I'm this EMT guy. So then his Uncle Jimmy had told him. He said, Uncle Jimmy said, man, sometimes you gotta be all three people. You feel me? Sometimes you gotta be all three people. That's the hand you was dealt. You feel me? So you just gotta know how to just peep game and know how to adjust in different settings. You feel me?
People been trying so hard to keep it real, man. But you in somebody else's establishment, you gotta carry yourself with some type of dignity, man.
Facts.
Some decorum at least.
I ain't gonna lie, that was a real life thing for him. Cause like I remember kicking it with him when he first came to school, like to Miami-Dade College. And then we'd hang out like during spring break. Like I knew this kid since he was, like we was in elementary school coming from Overtown. And we met back up over here. But he always been like, he was always a smart guy, but then he was always, you know what I'm saying, in trouble and stuff too, whether it's his parents getting in trouble, him getting in trouble himself or whatever. But like on the weekends when we'd kick it, he'll have like this personality disorders where, like you said, like I'm a nerd one day. He didn't know how to apply the game that he had into all these different worlds. It was fucking with his mental crazy, dog. Like when he in like, and it's like that, like when you work in a corporate job, you know what I'm saying, you might be kicking it with y'all boys, we all real, you know what I'm saying, y'all my brothers, y'all my homies and stuff like that. But you get with somebody else, like we got with Matt, and Matt might make a comment like, he telling you what's real, he being direct and telling you what's real, but in a way where it's like, man, that's green, you feel me? But we can't really apply pressure the way we want to. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Or in business too, like I remember one time, like it was a company that placed the order from us, but then them boys went bankrupt. Like, but the person, the sales rep who wrote the order knew what was going on. By the time we peeped, we couldn't even go put down on them how we wanted to, you feel me? Like, either if we did, we could have put down on them how we wanted to, or if we would have put down on the way we really wanted to, like, yo, you got 20 bands, like, we need that back. Like, we would have, no court system, no nothing, no they wouldn't even cared about what was going on. They was like, yo, y'all wrong. You got to hire a lawyer to go get that back. Like, they filed for bankruptcy. Ain't you feel me? So like you say, the G code don't apply in the Mars world.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah, no, yeah, it really don't. And like, there's been a lot of times where, you know, me myself, I've been insulted, you know, with people who we do a lot of business with, and you just had to take it on the chin. But I had to just peep game and know what it was, you know what I mean? But I won't mention any names, but yeah, it was a time where it got real funny like that. Basically, the dude basically told me that pretty much like he's one of the good ones.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I didn't say nothing.
Somebody that we make a lot of money with.
Yeah, but you know, yeah, a lot of it, and I just, but it wasn't okay, but it was just, sometimes you gotta peep game, and it goes back to what you were saying earlier, like if I responded to it in a different way, it would have probably messed up everything that we had going on for us and other people who we assist. So I just couldn't. I wanted to say something, and everybody around it was uncomfortable. Yes. But then I made a joke out of it just to make it go. But I peeped game on what the whole thing was. And, you know,
we feel like if we peep game, right, and it works in reverse for us because we see what it is, whether it's in the work environment, whether it's in the office, or whether it's in that situation. Like, do you find yourself now moving a little different, or having resentment, and then now you're moving like out of character?
Yeah, most definitely.
You're handling people the way you normally handle, because now you're so alert, you're so in tune with what's really going on. It's just got you moving crazy with some people that might not even deserve it.
Yeah, no, of course, because you know you're human. You know what I'm saying? So you do start to move with some sort of resentment, but then again, at the same time, like I try my best to try to just see what's the bigger picture. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, even with us, we had our disputes, you know, our little stuff where we had, and you gotta chop it up. You know what I'm saying? You gotta, whenever you collaborate in anything, it's always gonna be like that. It's always hard cause this is really like a marriage with us four, and that's why sometimes it can be crazy sometimes, cause you gotta like I was reading the book, what it was called, like the 5 love languages, and it said something about like after the first 2 years, like that love thing wears off. I forgot the term, but after the first 2 years, the honeymoon phase is over, and so then after that, every day after that, you'll have to wake up and really choose to be with that person. And then now you're talking about in a time where we got so many options of different things that we can actually do. It can be very trying, but yeah, man, you can build that resentment, man. But then sometimes you take a break, you'll come back to it. But it'll still, you know, it'll still piss you off. But if you just know, like, the assignment, the bigger goal, you know what I'm saying? It kind of give you a little hope, you know what I'm saying, to keep moving forward. You feel me?
True.
Yeah.
I know y'all boys be dabbling into a lot of like real estate and stuff like that. And I know like in the middle of the project, y'all a peep game if somebody like bullshit. But I know y'all
contractors.
You feel me? Like, you feel me? Like, what? Like, whether it take longer or not, y'all still get through it. So I feel like, man, y'all like good at like, you know what I'm saying, like knowing when to apply pressure and when not to. You feel me?
Yeah, there's definitely been times where you just gotta pick your poison. It's a double-edged sword. You're gonna get cut either way. You wanna get cut deep, or you wanna get cut a little surface scratch.
Yeah.
So they even dealing with contractors, man. Like, you're halfway through the project, I can't fire you now. You got a deposit. Now I gotta go and search for somebody else, give them a whole new deposit, and fix all the screw ups that you did. But I could come at you with a better tone and be like, look, let's come back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
This is what's happening. This is what's not happening. I just need it done within this time frame, and that's happened to me a few times. But coming at them man to man, and just having that sit down and not moving off emotions, and you screwing up your whole project. Yeah. It could have went a different way. Sometimes you just gotta pick your poison.
I done overheard y'all boys And I done seen it on your face too, like what?
You doing them when you doing those rehabs and you peeping game. That's a whole different type of stress, cause like you seeing money leave while people playing with it on the job, and the word you always say, it's disheartening when the people who's working on the crib are people that you know. Yeah. So like when they may come into a full rehab, and when they come and see what's going on, okay, well, Reg's knocking down bathrooms, kitchens, okay, that's gonna run about 20, that's gonna run 10, that's 10. So he gotta do the pool. That boy about 100 bands in. Okay, I got something for him. His pockets run deep. And then now
people you know.
Yeah, people. So now that job that was that would have cost you $1,000, now magically, COVID affected everything. So now that $1,000 job turns into a $10,000 job so fast. So it's like you got to really peep game on what's going on. But it's definitely frustrating. You know what I'm saying?
It's frustrating. My bad, Rick. It's frustrating, but it sounds like, from the stories and stuff, it sounds like the peeping game becomes more easier with that experience. So you just gotta keep getting burned to know what the game is, and that kind of helps you in the future for other situations when you gotta peep game.
You gotta remember it too.
See, that's what I was about to
You gotta
say.
remember it.
I ain't rehab a crib yet outside of my own crib, like doing work with it. But recently I restored a car. And boy, like I was hearing about this. I was hearing about like, yeah, man, this gonna do this. Then I met somebody who told me like, yeah, I have you out by what we at? We in July right now. By the end of preseason, you'll be on the road. I'm like, for real? Yes, you'll be on the road. So I'm like, all right, man, this is music to my ears. Let me cut the check real quick, get a deposit. Boy, that preseason turned into, I still ain't got my shit back right yet. You feel me? Nah, I'm talking about the vert. The vert still getting worked on. It came out for a week, and it's only to drive on a Sunday. So imagine if I was driving it like every day. Yeah. But from what I know and from what I see, dog, like, everything go have its hiccups. Like even like with you in the crib, like you'll never stop working on the crib as long as it's actively getting used. The pool and stuff like that is always gonna be something. So I understand that part about it. But like in a sense too, it's the same thing y'all boys going through. All of a sudden, like, man, the parts ain't this. I'm sorry, I see you hopping out the Beamer. You got this too, man, sizing you up, saying, man, some no shoe, yeah, that's 5,000. You feel me? Like, what? Gee, and it be like that, dog. Like, so when I peep game on that, I just be hurt, dog. But you, if I come at him in a certain way, it's like, damn, boy, I might not get my shit fixed right, or I might not, you know what I'm saying, like. But when you aware, it hurt, boy.
Yeah, like you said earlier,
crazy,
for real.
Boy, it hurt when you're aware, boy, because you just know what it is, like. And sometimes you could say something about it, and sometimes, you know what I'm saying, it's probably not even the best to say nothing about it. Just keep moving, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Some interesting topics, man. Interesting situation we all been in.
All right, y'all. So you made it to the end of this episode, man. Dope. We got even way more things to give you guys. Be sure to go to fourquarters.podcast and learn more information. Subscribe, like, share this, tag a couple friends, do all that. And then also check out FSC Academy, where we'll be dropping our ebook, our training courses on how to build a brand, teamwork, just everything from how to actually even trademark your logos, the whole nine, man. We're giving a lot of free game on there. So sign up, tune in, subscribe, like. See you on the next one.
Then we all have to peep game. Like you say, man, sometimes it's just best to just, you peep the game and just move forward. Just for the greater good of everybody.
Facts. How do you release that shit? Because you can't let something just be up in you and let that shit fester. Because, well, that's a possibility too.
Yeah.
It can definitely blow up in your face, man. You might be moving with resentment. You might be taking out that frustration on the wrong people.
Yeah.
You might just do something irrational one day and just blow the whole place up. Not literal,
Right,
but like,
right.
you know, you just might start self-sabotage and cut your nose off just to spite the face.
Facts.
Start doing things. Okay, you moving like that, then let me move like that with you.
Mm-hmm.
And then everybody suffers.
Yeah.
But when is enough enough? You know what I'm saying? Or when do you know when to turn that off? It's really a daily thing.
Yeah.
It's a little crazy in this world. Shit, that was a crazy ass way to end it.
Got a peep game. I mean, it was real though.
Hey man,
Peep Game, dinner
It's
schedule.
wrong. Dinner scammers, you got a peep game. There's all types of game you got to peep. We ain't even get to talk about the big game in the country. We ain't get to talk about that because we ain't trying to get canceled. Bro, you got a peep game. Like,
yeah, it is. It ain't gonna lie. Dang, that's a whole nother topic. That's a whole nother episode. Part 2 coming soon, man. Peep game.
Yeah, Peep Game.